Hi, I'm Chad with Move for a Guitar. This lesson is from our series Music Theory for Guitar. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how you can use the minor pentatonic scale to solo over a minor 7 flat 5 chord. First off, if you like the diagrams for everything in this series, including the diagrams for this lesson, you can download our free e-guide, Music Theory for Guitar. And this e-guide will be something that you can study and use as a reference for years to come. And like I said, it's free, so there's no reason not to just go download it. This is 5.26 from our series Music Theory for Guitar. If you'd like to go back and start at the beginning, you can click the link on the screen. So in the last two lessons, I showed you more advanced ways to use the minor or major pentatonic scales to solo over minor and major chords. This lesson, I'm going to show you how you can use a minor pentatonic scale to solo over a minor 7 flat 5 chord. And as you remember, the minor pentatonic scale can't be built out of the Locrian mode. And that's because the Locrian mode has a flat 5 in it. And as you remember, building a 7 chord in the Locrian mode is a minor 7 flat 5. You also have a diminished triad as your triad, but the minor 7 flat 5 is the most common chord that you'll come across, so we're going to be talking about the minor 7 flat 5. So if you were just to take like a B minor 7 flat 5 chord, which is from the key of C, you couldn't use a B minor pentatonic scale over it, or any pentatonic scale, the major or minor, that has the same root name, because of that flat 5. The minor and major pentatonic scales have perfect fifths. This chord obviously has a flat 5, which is from the Locrian mode, which has a flat 5. But there are ways to use the minor pentatonic scale over the minor 7 flat 5 by superimposing minor pentatonic scales over this chord like we did in the last two lessons. So instead of using a minor pentatonic scale with the same root name, we would first could use a D minor pentatonic scale to solo over this B minor 7 flat 5. And D minor pentatonic is D, F, G, A, C back to D. And those intervals compared to the B minor 7 flat 5 are flat 3, flat 5, flat 6, flat 7, flat 2. So those are all notes out of the Locrian mode. And you have your flat 3 and flat 5, which are straight out of the minor 7 flat 5. You just don't have a root from that minor 7 flat 5. But all these other notes are straight out of Locrian mode as well. So you can use the D minor pentatonic scale over the B minor 7 flat 5 to create a Locrian sound. Your other option is to use E minor pentatonic over the B minor 7 flat 5. And E minor pentatonic is E, G, A, B, D. Those intervals compared to the B minor 7 flat 5 are 4, flat 6, flat 7, root, flat 3. So again, those are all notes out of the Locrian mode, so you can use that to solo over the minor 7 flat 5. Your other option is to use A minor pentatonic over the B minor 7 flat 5. And A minor pentatonic is A, C, D, E, G. The intervals of the A minor pentatonic scale compared to the B minor 7 flat 5 are flat 7, flat 2, flat 3, 4, flat 6, flat 7, which again are all notes straight out of the Locrian mode, so you can use that A minor pentatonic over the B minor 7 flat 5 and be in the Locrian mode sound. So if you look at all of them together over the B minor 7 flat 5, you could use D minor pentatonic, E minor pentatonic, or A minor pentatonic. And they each create different intervals, but all these intervals that are created are straight out of the Locrian mode. So that's how you can use minor pentatonic scales to solo over minor 7 flat 5 chords or Locrian mode chords. You just superimpose them over the chord with different root names. You just can't use any that have the same root name. So you couldn't use a B minor pentatonic scale because that would have a perfect fifth and you have this flat 5. But using these pentatonics, either create the flat 5 or don't have any fifth interval created, but they're all notes that are created out of the Locrian mode. And if we look at this chart, so now we're talking about minor pentatonic again, but this time we're talking about soloing over a minor 7 flat 5 chord. You can either play a minor pentatonic built off the flat 3. So if you're talking about B minor 7 flat 5, the flat 3 is D, because the B major scale, the third would be D sharp, so a flat 3 would be D. So you'd use a D minor pentatonic over the B minor 7 flat 5. That would give you flat 3, flat 5, flat 6, flat 7, flat 2, and of course it's the Locrian mode. Or you could use a minor pentatonic built off the fourth. The fourth of B is E, so you'd use an E minor pentatonic over that B minor 7 flat 5. The intervals you get over that chord would be 4, flat 6, flat 7, root, flat 3. Again, just a Locrian mode sound, because that's what we're talking about. or you could use a minor pentatonic built off the flat 7. So the flat 7 of B is A, because the major 7th of B is A sharp, so you flat that one half step, you get A. So you'd use A minor pentatonic over the B minor 7 flat 5. That would give you flat 7, flat 2, flat 3, 4, flat 6, and of course just Locrian. So that's how you can use minor pentatonic scales over a minor 7 flat 5 chord. And this is a really useful thing to understand so that you don't have to use any of the modes. You could again just use a minor pentatonic scale to solo over this chord. Just unlike the major or minor chords, you can't use a minor pentatonic built off the root. You have to either build it off the flat 3, the 4, or the flat 7. So go ahead and move on to the next lesson, where I'm going to show you how you can actually create mode pentatonics. So these aren't minor or the major pentatonics that we've been talking about. They're pentatonics based on the mode, so they actually create the sounds of the mode better. But move on to that lesson, you'll understand what I'm talking about. And be sure to download the e-guide. All the diagrams are in there. And be sure to subscribe, because we had at least one new lesson every day.